Welcome back, guys. What kind of man are you? Now look into my goddamn eyes. We are going to try and ask the question. We are going to ask the question and we're going to try to answer it. What does it mean to be a man? Now to answer this, we got to go back. What is it that separates a man from a woman? The main difference. Primitive years, guys. We're going back in time, thousands and thousands of years ago, where we had to hunt for our food, where we had to build our houses, our forts, where we had to discover new lands, sail foreign seas. We had to make fires out of nothing but wood and like whatever else it takes to make a fire. I don't know. I don't go out making fires. I know it takes some wood, maybe some flint. I don't know if they have flint back then. I use a gas fucking stove. I'm spoiled. Back then, when we had to be in a tribe and have other men around and we had to support each other. If you look at the average man and the average woman, there is no argument here. And we're just going to leave it at this, that man is usually always stronger. The average man is almost always stronger than the average woman. I am stronger than 99.99% of women out there. Physically, okay? I'm not talking about, what you can deal with going through birth and stuff. I am fucking stronger than women. So at the root of any mammal, all right, it is strength. We are stronger than the average woman. Now, having this strength in a tribe, having this strength thousands of years ago, we had to move and we had to hunt and do all these things because we are stronger. We are the leaders, the alphas of the pack. Now, these days, we don't always have to do stuff like that. Almost never. Like I was saying, I don't have to go make a fire tonight when I go home and cook my eggs and bacon that I bought from the grocery store, right? So in this day and age, there's kind of a finicky line between what is a man, what makes a man a man. Now there is a good man, and then there is being good at being a man. So you can be a good man, but you are not necessarily good at being a man. So in 2016, when we think of being a good man, who would we look to? I don't really know. When we look to good men, just being, what does it mean to us? Being honor, being kind, virtue, right? Even the philosophers were thinking about virtue. What does it mean to live a good life? To be a good man? And today, we look at some good men as husbands. They are the providers of the family. They provide for the children and the wife. They go to work. They are kind to everyone around them. They go to their 9-to-5 job. And this isn't wrong. This is being a good man, right? This is a good man. But the part that I'm worried about, guys, is that nowadays, a lot of us are just good men. I think there's a culture that shows us that it's not good to be strong. Strength isn't good. Courage to do things isn't good. It's good to be kind to people. It's good not to offend. Be careful, guys, not to say something that offends someone because they might have different views than you. Be careful. In 2016, back then when there was a black plague, when there was, wars and killings going on, in 2016, I'm offended. You offend people by saying something so small, and you get written up, and you go to HR, and you get thrown out, and you get belittled, and you get frowned upon and looked down upon because maybe you spoke up and said something you believe in. Being a good man is really all we have these days. It's hard to be good at being a man. So if being a man is all about strength at the root, and not just physically, strength mentally, strength with courage, strength to impose and impress your will upon the outside world. This is all part of being a man. From the very beginning of time, men had to do this. But now it's different. Now, if you look at, the good man, who do good men look up to? We look up to men that maybe aren't necessarily good, right? But they were good at being a man. We look to some of the best, the chilled out husbands, the goody two shoes, the nice guys. I don't want to use that word. I want to be real here, but who are their heroes? A lot of these guys' favorite movies are like The Sopranos or Godfather, Goodfellas, right? These mobsters, these mafias. These aren't good men. These aren't good role models, right? But they do things. Violence. Tribe mentality. Brotherhood. Courage. They didn't give a fuck, right? But they're not necessarily good men. They are good at being a man. So I don't know if it's feminism. I don't know if it's the feminists out there, that we're all being cucked. Though everything on TV, man, it's like men these days are walking on eggshells. We lack this identity. We've become good men without even really impressing ourselves on the world, without saying what we want to say, without doing what we want to do. We go with the flow. We are careful not to offend. We walk on eggshells. We tiptoe everywhere we go. We walk around with our heads down, afraid to look a woman in the eyes, afraid to say something because we might be out of place. We are afraid to show our masculinity and our strength and our vigor. We're afraid to be good at being men. We are men. God damn it. You see, but if it begins with strength, then we have all these drains. We have strength gain. Strength drains in our everyday life. Guys, we're being sucked dry by the outside world. Instead of going up and rising up and doing what you want. Action. Strength and action and power is a part of manhood. And where do we put our energy and our strength? In video games. On the computer. We sit behind a desk in our little cubicle garden. Being cucked. Being drained. Without any attention as to what we want to do. As to how we want to say what we want to say or be what we want to be. We are drained by magazines telling us of this individualism of how we should dress and how we should act and the clothes that we should wear and, the media, all the things that we are exposed to of how men should be. That's not it, guys. We're being programmed. We're being drained of our strength so that we're left with nothing else but to be a good man that follows the status quo, that adopts this feminine personality of getting along with everyone. It doesn't say what he wants to say. It doesn't even act on his deepest core motivations. When you see that beautiful girl, it's now you got to be careful to look. No. It's hard to look her in the eyes. Part of being a man, I want to fuck. And not only women, I want to fuck everything around me. Not human beings. I want to fuck this life up. Right? I want to impose my will on whatever it is that I set out to do. I want to fuck that shit. I want to give it my fucking mushroom tip and go balls deep. But how can I do that if I'm being drained? How can I do that? This testosterone-filled body that all of us young men, we're blessed with this testosterone flowing through our bodies. It's what, when you were a teenager, gave you those fucking hard-ons in the morning, right? But we're being drained of that. We have nothing, we don't even have the energy to get up and do what we want to do. And we say that we lack intelligence or we lack this and that, but we have, guys, the opportunity to get up and do that thing. But we go back to the simple way, to the simple pleasures, to the drains, to the toxicity that we have all around us. It's time that we break free of that. It's time that we step up and no longer worried about being a good man, no longer fitting into the crowd. No, it's time to be good at being a man. To have courage, to have strength, to have honor, to go out and find out what it is and experiment and do things. To not listen to what other people say. This is all your right. This is freedom. But we have to step up. We have to avoid the easy route. Marcus Aurelius famously said, spend no more time worrying about what it is to be a good man. Be one.